Welcome, my name is Oliver. I am a robot, but enough about me. This isn't about me, this is about Saul, and Richard, and video games, and the universe. So come with us, or more specifically, with them, into the save state, save state, save state, save state, save state.
Good evening and welcome to the Save State Gaming Podcast. My name is Richard Hornby, as joined always by
Saul Muscat. Hello.
Hiya.
What?
What did you think of that?
That was a good intro.
It was really mainstream Hollywood, wasn't it?
It's quite showmany. I liked it.
Well, let's see how it goes. Let's try a different one every week, maybe.
Let's do that.
How have you been, by the way?
Yeah, pretty good, man. Thanks for asking. It's been a while since we recorded, so
It's been too long.
it has been too long.
Awkwardly leans in and kisses him. You're looking well. I love the beard. You've not cut that in quite a while.
I haven't. No, I get a lot of nice compliments about this beard, mainly from men.
Mainly for men.
But I'll take them. It's good.
Fair enough.
Like it.
Is the Burr community kind of growing towards you?
It is, yeah, that's right.
Do you know what the Burr community is, don't you?
I don't know, the kind of people that like, muscular.
It's the larger gay community. So overweight gay men who have massive facial hair.
Interesting. Lumberjacks,
yes,
Nice.
perhaps. But anyway, thank you all for joining us. It's been a while, we do apologise. But as you all know, that in life, certain things can come up and interfere. But hey, here we are again, getting on with it as always, and it's episode 15, ladies and gentlemen. Where were you when you were 15 years old? Think about that for a second. Saul, where were you?
I was in school, like probably most of the listeners.
That's true.
Probably right about now, 15 years ago, probably sat down in front of the TV with my family watching Catchphrase. Oh no, that's probably a bit before that.
Catchphrase with Roy Walker.
Yeah, do you know what? I watched Bullseye last night, and it is still as good as you remember. It's well worth a watch.
Bullseye always confused the shit out of me.
Yeah.
It always reminds me of that. What was the Peep Show guys? They did that comedy show, which was like a sketch show. Mitchell and Webb. That was.
Oh yeah.
And they did like a bullseye kind of thing, and it was like, oh, here he goes, and he just picks up and he downs a pint of lager, and he's like 5 points. He's going for the double shot of whiskey. 5 points.
That sounds good.
That kind of really relates to how I feel about darts as a professional sport, because you get these overweight, drunken men going ahead and throwing shit at you.
Yeah, I mean, professional sport is a bit of a stretch, really. Do you get it? Do you get the fat joke?
I do actually.
Yeah,
now that you point it out,
good.
yes, it's a bit tenuous at first, but
yeah. So Bullseye, good, very good.
Bullseye, awesome. Anyway, video games. That's why you've all joined us here today. That's why you've clicked like, subscribed, downloaded us from iTunes. We appreciate all of that. But yeah, it's been a good couple of weeks for games. I've reignited my love for video games. If you joined us last week on episode 14, I was saying how I kind of felt a bit numb towards the entire medium as a whole. And as long-term gamers know, this occasionally does happen. And you just gotta wait for a while until you get that palate cleanser to come along and re-cleanse that palate and get you interested again.
Yeah.
And I think I found mine.
Good. Yeah, you're sounding good. It sounds like you got your mojo back. So what was this game?
Well, the game as such is a game called Ryme. Now, Ryme, for those of you who don't know, is a game that's been in existence for quite a while, a couple of years.
Yeah.
In fact, I've probably mentioned it on a Where Are They Now sort of basis on this podcast. Basically, it turned up a couple of years ago, maybe E3 2013, as a PlayStation only exclusive indie property. And then it went through a bit of a delicate development cycle, didn't it, Saul? Tell me all about that.
I can't. Do you remember who the original developer was? Was it Tequila Works, or am I making that up? I can't remember. But basically, there was a story floating around that Sony obviously had been funding this as an exclusive, but it was running into some development issues, and so Sony basically took all of the dev kits, took all of the PS4s, and said that you're no longer on this project.
I remember the way you told me the story was they came to visit, they looked at it and went, what the fuck is this? And took away all of their own development kits.
But it sounds like you're enjoying it, so it can't be too all bad, right?
Well, yeah, I picked up the game. It's £30 as usual, but however, there is a magnificent sale on at the moment on PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4 Summer Sale, which is divided into two parts. You get your AAA games, you get up to 60% off, and some real great bargains on there. And then some real sleepers, some amazing bargains on the 70% off digital-only games. You can get The Witness for £6. You can get Klaus, which is a game that nobody really seems to know of, for about £6. And so on and so forth. I picked up Stardew Valley for £6. But, however, I picked up Ryme.
Okay.
£18 I paid for this game. I thought, why not? I was going to pick it up for £30 when it came out because I was that interested.
Yeah.
But then the adult in me told me, you need to save up to sort your life out.
Okay.
But £18, so we picked it up, and yeah, I'm playing this game. And I played it, and it's one of those games that I finished in one sitting.
Right.
Now, it's not necessarily a short game. It took me 8 to 10 hours to do this. And quite frankly, I'm glad that I did complete this in one sitting for one reason and one reason only. Going through this entire game, I was thinking about what I was going to say to you and to the podcast community about this. And halfway through, I was thinking about what this game is about, because it's sort of a very arty indie game where a lot of the story is left for you to pick up. And halfway through, I thought I picked up the story straight away, but in my own sort of sparky kind of, I know what this is about. It's about mental illness. It's about this. It's about that. It's about the other. Like last week when I said Bone was about a pregnant woman doing this, that, and the other, having psychosis. And I bet you that's right, because this has proved my point. I thought Bone was about a certain type of thing, and I was about to make a smarky comment about it, and then I finished the game in one sitting, and I was right. So yeah, but anyway, back to Bone as a game. It's Bone. Ryme, yes, sorry. Ryme. Back to Ryme as a game. It's you play as a small child who is shipwrecked ashore on this island, and you don't really know what's going on. Then it's left to you to explore the environment. There's no combat. It's all puzzle orientated.
Okay.
And then you make friends with a fox, and then you go do these environmental puzzles, and you pick up on clues on the environment, how to proceed. And this goes on for about an hour, and the tone shifts, it gets darker, deals with more darker themes, and all the puzzles, I'm gotta say, I've played them before. I've done all of this before. Yeah. All of the mechanics of the game they've kind of been done before. If you play artsy-fartsy indie games, which I do all the time, then you've played a lot of this before. But when I finished it and look back at it as a whole, I had a complete experience with it, and it did palate cleanse. So if you are not like me and you spend X amount of time playing Journey, this, that and the other, then this will be a fresh experience for you and something wonderful.
So, sounds like it comes highly recommended.
My review score for it is 3.5 stars.
Okay.
5.
Okay.
Which is a great score.
Yeah,
that's what a 7 out of 10 is for other people. I enjoyed it. For £18, definitely get it. £30, I'm not too sure. And as I say, it really depends on your mileage and your experience with games that deal with different things than AAA games. However, these different things, these different motifs have almost become in the norm as a AAA game. This is one of those titles that it's treading water on what Brothers did and what Journey did.
Yeah. Yeah. So so you don't think you'll go back to it? You enjoyed the time with it?
One and done. Loved it.
Okay.
At the time, I had all these opinions that I've just said to you, but looking back at it, yeah, I love what it did. It was great. It was great fun, and plus, I can't stress enough how that feels to actually finish a game in one go, or in a week, or just to actually finish a game. There is this complete psychological message to yourself that you've finished something and that you've ticked this box and you've let it go. It isn't a game that I've got on my hard drive half finished and I'm kind of got anxious about it and I'm going to go back to it. I know that I'm not, so it doesn't feel like a waste of money, and it feels like I've enjoyed this entire thing as a complete of its whole. So yeah,
there's something to be said about that. I mean, on one hand, like, it's stupid to buy games that then just sit on your hard drive and get added to the backlog, and then you never go back to them.
Yeah, do you remember when we were going to do Borderlands 2? Borderlands
the pre-sequel.
Yeah, Borderlands the pre-sequel. Have you got it? Yeah, I got it as well the other day. Let's play it. We played it once. We had a good time. We never went back.
But it's again, like we were kind of talking about this last week when you were talking about video game depression, right? And not really wanting to play much, or not knowing what you wanted to play. Every now and again, a game comes along that kind of reignites that kind of feeling of why you like games in the first place. So I'm happy for you, Chud. I'm happy to have my video game brother back in the game.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I've tried to move it on with The Witness, which is the other game I've been playing this week.
Right.
A game that you've had quite a bit of experience with.
Yep.
Is it Jonathan Blow?
Jonathan Blow, yep.
Yeah, the guy who made Braid back in 2008, I believe, a game that pretty much revolutionised the way that indie games came out on home consoles. It was the forefather of lots of these games that you see now.
Xbox Arcade and
Xbox
just
Arcade, Summer of Love,
digital
all this.
distribution, basically,
and then basically since 2008 he didn't make another game, and then apart from this, The Witness, a first-person puzzle game where you're dropped on an island with no story, no hoopla, and you're left to figure out the story as you go. Similar beats as I've said before. But yeah, so it's very puzzle orientated. It's very sort of you solve a simple puzzle without any tutorial at all, and by you looking through that simple puzzle, then you go on to the next harder one. And if you can't do it, you look back and you think how you did the simple one in the first place. So it's a very interesting idea. It's very it's like a child learning how to do something.
It's organic.
Is exactly
it's basically like learning a language. Is how I felt playing that game.
Same thing. Yeah,
it's like
because you are learning a language.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's a brilliant piece of game design. You know, if anybody's ever played any other games like Braid by Jonathan Blow, then you kind of know what this guy's capable of, right? And especially, he was working on this game for what, 7-8 years,
a long time. In fact, didn't he say that if this didn't sell well, if it didn't make it, he'd be quit?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the way I'd compare to like playing The Witness is, like I said, learning a language, starting off with very basic building blocks, and then as you progress through the game, you start to get more fluent, and then by the end of the game, literally you are able to solve puzzles that if you'd have got there at the start of the game, you wouldn't have a fucking clue. But the other great thing about this game is that I never feel like the game presents you with a puzzle that's impossible. The reason that you can't do the puzzle is because you haven't learned how to do it yet, and so by exploring other parts of the island, you'll figure it out, piece bits together. So, brilliant piece of game design, absolutely fantastic. And it's what, £6 at the moment?
$6.99 until the 18th of this month, so please do go pick it up, even though this will be out after that, so you tough today. But yeah, maybe I need you to come and teach me some of that language, because I've only played about an hour and I'm already stuck, so...
The best advice I would say is get a notebook and a pen and write them down. And being able to like kind of visualize them on with pen and paper rather than on the screen, it does make it a lot easier. You can make notes and that kind of stuff. But yeah, wonderful game.
He's lean, he's green, and he's back in action. Yahoo! Join Croc in a search for his long-lost parents in the all-new 3D adventure, Croc 2. Croc's fiendish enemy Baron Dante is back and enlists a new gang of monsters to get revenge. But Croc's got some hot moves and tons of new gobos to help him, so Dante better watch his back. Croc 2, coming soon to take a bite out of your PlayStation game console from Fox Interactive.
So, besides growing an incredibly sexy beard, and
thank you.
What have you been playing?
A few things. Let me put this into context. Well, a while ago we had the discussion on the podcast about what games would you show a non-gamer, about to show them kind of where games are up to at the moment, or maybe you want to get them into classic games to start off with and kind of build them up. So I had this experience recently where I had a friend round at the flat, and she has not played a game since like Sonic on the Mega Drive. It was the last console that she played. The only other game that she really likes is Croc. So let's not talk about Croc.
Croc. From PlayStation 3.
No, PlayStation 1. Yeah.
Croc, the PlayStation 1 game about a crocodile in a 3D environment that was a Super Mario 64 clone of the day.
Yeah, like a poor man's Spyro, basically.
Yeah.
Croc. So I gave her a bit of a video game education. Maybe not the best choices to start off with. So the first night we ended up playing Hatoful Boyfriend, which...
Pigeon
dating simulator.
Exactly.
We played Goat Simulator, which was her choice.
Okay, I'm noticing a theme.
Yep. And I Am Bread, which was my choice. So maybe not showing her, the pinnacle of video game development.
You were trying to be different, weren't you, Sol?
I was trying to be cool.
You were trying to prove that you were a gamer who wasn't the FIFA, Call of Duty, this, that, and the other, like all the other guys' gamers. What you were doing? Am I wrong?
You're partly right. Yeah, I basically
the same.
Came across as a bread-loving, pigeon-loving weirdo. But she came back for a second night, so that's good.
Because she loves your beard.
That's right. She's not a man. And so the second night, I thought, okay, let's really delve into games. Let's really show what games are now. So we started off with The Last of Us, and from the beginning, just kind of played for about the first kind of 45 minutes. So you've got that whole big introduction, setting up the characters of Joel and where he loses his daughter. Spoiler, sorry. But obviously that is just an absolutely beautiful piece of cinematography, not just game design. Like, so at points she was like, are you actually playing this? And I was like, yeah. At points I'm looking around the car while she's driving around, and she was blown away. So I thought, okay, that's a winner. She likes that. Yeah. So from there, I think the next safest bet, we went to Uncharted 4. Again, very beautiful to look at, really fun, good characters, and she enjoyed that too. So I jumped into Uncharted 4. I think it's Chapter 12, the big truck chase, you know, when
that's where I've gone as well. Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, she really enjoyed that. I mean, she appreciates games for what they are, and I think that she now understands why I like games as opposed to other medium like film and books and that kind of stuff. That's where I go for my entertainment. I mean, she's not going to go out and buy a PlayStation 4, but she, I think, enjoyed what she saw and opened her eyes, shall we say.
That's good, man. I think there's a lesson to be learned, though, when you are trying to approach those who don't play computer games and that you want to be part of your lives, but you want them to show in your love of your hobby. Maybe keep it simple. Keep it to the mainstream. Keep it something that they can relate to. Because there's a lot of games out there, like The Last of Us, like Uncharted, that are mainstream accessible, yet so incredibly beautiful in their own parts that they can draw others in. So just leave the Iron Bread and the Goat Simulator until 6 months into the relationship.
Yeah. But the reason I chose those games also is because they are pretty simple to understand. Like, you're a goat. What a goat's do,
I've gone there first as well.
Yeah, so...
Although for different reasons, I've just gone there, because, like, as I stated earlier, it's like, I don't like Call of Duty, I like games where I'm a piece of bread. Am I not interesting? Aren't I interesting?
I want the best for my family. So for vacuum-packed bricks of military surplus nutritional substitutes, I go to One-Eyed Bob's, where clerks double bag on request. Follow the fog till you run out of gas, then turn left. Bob's.
What was the BBC News theme? Because that was badass.
I need to went into Countdown then.
Yeah.
But anyway, welcome to the news, hosted by Rachel Riley. Rachel? Oh, she's in the bathroom. Oh, never mind. I guess we're going to take over the news for this week. So, Saul, would you like to talk us into what the fuck's going on?
In the video game world, yeah. So, we talked about this a little while back. First piece of news, Xbox Game Pass is now live, up and running. Chud, any experience with this?
Oh, right, yeah, no.
No.
I tried my best to have some experience with it. I bought it and then didn't download it.
Okay. Oh, you paid for it?
No, because I paid for the free trial. We may have actually talked about this before, but the point is, we paid for it. I didn't pay for it. I got the free trial. So then I started to download Mad Max and realised that actually I want to play Mad Max on my PlayStation and get the trophies. So then I just left it, and then I tried to cancel it, but it looked like it was on an old card. So I was like, so it's not going to actually renew itself. Excellent. I don't need to bother with the whole bullshit of ringing up my bank company and going, you see these guys, cut them off for good. So I didn't have to go through that. And then someone didn't sit right with me, and then like yesterday or today I went onto my memberships. I started to explore the Xbox One's UI, which I haven't done because I'm not particularly a big fan of the console. So I was exploring around because I was bored, and I went, memberships, okay, memberships, I've got gold, and I've still got Xbox Now, and then I clicked on it, and apparently for the last 4 months or 3 months I've paid $7.99 for something I haven't once used.
No.
But however, the reason why I'm bringing this up to you all, there is a reason for me bringing this up, is because to cancel this, all I had to do was go on memberships, cancel, and then I click cancel, and it cancelled the goddamn thing for me. Now, that may sound nothing to you guys, but from somebody who's trying to cancel Netflix and Now TV, this, that, and the other, and doesn't own a laptop, these things are not possible to do from a smartphone. They're not. They're simply not, and that is an oversight, really, completely.
So
from a consumer-friendly, consumer-friendly standpoint.
So what would that mean then? Having to call somebody up?
Well, what does it mean? I'd have to have an incredibly awkward conversation with this gentleman from the Royal Bank of Scotland, and I'm like, yo, you know Netflix? Yeah. Fuck them off, man. Fuck them off forever. But you got to just cancel this, that, and the other through talking, and then I always feel bad because it basically means they can't take money from you ever again. And then they sort of say, you've got to ring us back to uncancel it, and it's like, oh god damn it, Game of Thrones is on like now, and I've already gone through the weird thing of breaking up with no TV, so it's very difficult. But so basically, the point of this story is, Xbox, once again, your relationship with customers is fantastic. You take small steps to make people feel welcome, and the facts, I didn't even believe it would be possible, but simple as pie, I could cancel my subscription through my Xbox controller on my television.
Yeah. That's
well done.
That's great. Like, just, convenience is what it's all about.
Convenience. It's just a shame that you only learn convenience when you're in a far second place. It's not just the same for Xbox, don't get me wrong, it's the same for every single global media conglomerate in the history of the world. We will not do things for you unless we really need to.
Yeah. Next piece of news this week, I think this is really interesting. There's talk for the 2024 Olympics, which are going to be held in Paris, Gay Paris, I believe. Is that right?
What's gay about Paris?
Gay Paris. Lots of things are probably quite gay about Paris, actually.
Slugs?
Have you ever been?
No, I've never been. I've always wanted to go.
No, they eat snails, don't they?
They're the same thing. Snails are just like slugs that have done well on the property market.
That's correct, yeah. Well done.
Excellent joke.
Off
the cuff, that was.
Good, very good, I like that. Okay, yeah, so there's talk about esports becoming now an Olympic event.
We originally talked about this, well, not necessarily Olympic, but a couple of episodes ago, you may remember us talking about the Asian Games?
Correct, yep.
How they were thinking about incorporating esports into it, so Dota, this, that and the other, and how I mentioned that maybe eventually this could perhaps lead to an Olympic sport in video gaming, and then I bookended it by saying, wouldn't it be wonderful if somebody won an Olympic gold medal because of those bastard blue shells in Mario Kart? Welcome to Reality Saul. It's like 4 months later, and here we are.
There we are. That was a hell of a prediction. So these games are 7 years off. It's very kind of early days and discussions for this, but what would it be? I mean, esports is a huge thing. Is that Counter-Strike? Is that Dota? What is that?
It really honestly will depend on what is
Street Fighter 2?
It could be, we don't know. It really depends on what is popular at the time.
Yeah.
There's obviously conversation had on how do you regulate this kind of thing, etc. I mean, if you look at the esports today in the Korean games, they are games that have been tried and tested for an incredibly long period of time. We're talking decades almost. We're still talking, I can't see why Counter-Strike wouldn't be an Olympic game, etc. To predict what they are, I don't know. But I would like to say, I would love it if Mario Kart was. That'd be great. But I can't honestly see Nintendo getting involved.
To me, I think that Counter-Strike, we were talking about darts before, Counter-Strike to me is more of a sport than darts. It takes in my opinion, takes a lot more precision, skill, ability. Like you see these guys, like top level players playing Counter-Strike, and they are split second, like pulling off these crazy like scope shots, and whereas darts, I mean, well actually, maybe there's some similarities. Yeah. Probably both quite fat. Probably quite good at aiming with things, sharp objects, bullets, maybe darts. I don't know, but again, early days. But I think it's quite good. Quite interesting news for gaming that on one hand it's starting to get that recognition in the mainstream. How do you feel about that actually? Do you feel that like...
Personally I think it's an absolutely excellent move. However, I gotta say, let's think about this outside the box as gamers. This is going to cause so much controversy in the mainstream. Can you not see the argument that non-gamers are going to have? It's going to be massive. It's going to be a really big deal coming up to the Paris Games in 2024. And when it is, remember you heard it here first, because this is going to be a hot topic issue. Hot button issue, is that what they say?
Hot topic.
Yeah.
Hot potato.
Hot potato, whatever, man. But so people are going to like this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. And I can, to be honest with you, I can completely see what they're saying. However, as we evolve as people, as we evolve our sensibilities and our skill sets as people, should the games not, mirror?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like culture and what is popular, obviously, is a reflection of society and what's popular in society. So there's the argument.
But also, virtual gaming is a sport. It's competitive. okay, well, we'll forget the word sport though for everybody who argues against me, but it's a competitive arena, and there's a skill set there to be learned and to be gotten better at, and the people who are the best spend hundreds and hundreds of hours to get better at this. And at the end of the day, is that not what a sport is?
Exactly, yeah. That's the argument, right? Is that surely by video games being included in the Olympics as an Olympic event, then that is surely proof that it is a sport. Or, okay, not a sport, but worthy of being on the same podium as Usain Bolt or whatever. You know?
Or maybe in 100 years' time, this debate on what a sport is will be irrelevant. Maybe we'll both be sports. Because what is the word sport? Tell me that.
Well, okay, so there's an element of competition.
Okay, got check.
Okay, there are rules.
Check.
There are more than one player. Well,
check.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, there has to be.
Yeah, sure. Because competition.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's basically it. And so games.
I can't tell the difference really. I think the only thing that we're going to get hung up on here is people are going to talk about the physical attributes towards that, and I get that. I really, really do for now. But if we think about this, I hate to say outside the box because that kind of devalues my argument. But if we take a step back and we look at this, does it really, really matter if somebody is, sharpening his mind and his skill set and this, that, and the other? You wouldn't call Stephen King a jabroni for being able to write all of his novels. You wouldn't call him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A writer is a beautiful mind because he's sharpened and trained his mind as an athlete does, his body.
Exactly. Next piece of news, bit of bad news, bit of sad news coming out of Canada, Montreal to be precise. BioWare Montreal, the developers behind Mass Effect Andromeda, have shut down. Not a really big surprise, Mass Andromeda was not very well received by most accounts.
I wouldn't necessarily say the studio shutting down was an expected thing because of it though.
Yeah, okay, fair enough, yeah. I think for people who don't know, Mass Effect
Andromeda?
Montreal, that is the word I'm looking for.
Sorry, BioWare Montreal.
BioWare Montreal.
They're basically the people, a bit of history on them. BioWare Montreal originally started as the B team to the Mass Effect franchise. Basically, they were in charge of doing all the DLC to Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3.
Which was awesome,
Which were great, which were absolutely fantastic. And because they were so well received, and I mean, they were very, very good, the B team, they thought, you know what? Have your own studio. Here it is, 2009. You've got that on himself. 2009, you've got BioWare Montreal. This is your studio, guys. Yep. You are no longer the B team. In fact, have Mass Effect 4. We're not going to call it Mass Effect 4. We're going to call it Mass Effect Andromeda. But make no bones about it, boys. This is the next generation version of Mass Effect. And you've done such a cracking job on those DLCs. Go get them. I trust you all. Go out there and smash it. And they're like, yeah. So then 4 years later goes by, and here we are.
Yeah, it was absolutely their chance and opportunity to shine, and
it was.
They
fucked it up.
No, you see, I don't think so. Like, it wasn't a bad game, right?
I've never played it. Have you?
No. So, okay, fair point. But like, speaking in generalities, like, I don't think it was a bad game. It just was nowhere near up to the standard of the other Mass Effect games.
I can't tell you about what the game was like. I'm going to pick it up when it's on sale, obviously, and there's a very big part of it that feels like, with low expectations, I may not really liking the game, as has happened to several other games in the past, which may be brought up later. But yeah, obviously, at the end of the day, man, they fucked up in the eyes of the fans, this, that, and the other.
Totally.
The sales were terrible, but when that's fucking up in the eyes of the fans, Mass Effect 3, as I've said, is my favourite Mass Effect. I'm just putting that out.
I don't think that's that much of an unpopular opinion, to be honest.
Well, yeah, but they must have done something bad on Mass Effect Andromeda, and the shockwaves have been incredible. They've shut down the entire studio.
Well, is that the end of Mass Effect? They've said that it's on pause, and
it's on pause. I don't think it's on pause. They can't cancel this IP because it's an incredibly beloved IP, and beloved IPs to the status of Mass Effect. It takes more than one backstep to kill them. It honestly does. And if it does, then that's EA's oversight, and there will. I have to believe it will come back. It may take 5 years. It may take longer, and if it doesn't, we may get one of those bullshit Kickstarters under a different name, like what was the ukulele, like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Anthem is going to take part of the Mass Effect kind of crowd. That sci-fi setting looks really similar to Mass Effect. Different games, obviously. Different kind of. Anthem is like a third-person MOBA, like an online shooter.
Yeah. So basically, they've been absorbed into EA. What's the company called?
EA Motive, I think.
EA Motive. Yeah. So they're going to be working on Anthem, which looks awesome.
Yeah. I think that's a really good fit. Like I said, similar aesthetic. I think that maybe a lot of the assets that they've been working on for Mass Effect are quite easily portable over to Anthem.
I always thought that this looked like the next generation Mass Effect.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
But when you say MOBA and things like that, and then I have to come to terms with the fact that that is what it's going to be, because I would like it to be an RPG that has mechanics and players like this, but it's not going to be, is it? It's going to be like Destiny or something. It's going to be going in with friends, doing this, they're getting loot, shooting, which is fine.
But I do hope, BioWare's heritage is hardcore RPGs, and I think that by mixing that kind of gameplay with Destiny, I think they've got a winner. Like, it was very, very, very well received at E3.
These guys aren't going to have any clout in this discussion.
You mean Montreal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think fair enough, but like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if they are now a supporting studio to EA Motive. Again, just helping creating assets. They probably won't have any say in the actual mechanics or the real kind of gritty game design. They're probably just making rocks and texturing ceilings and all that kind of stuff.
Fair enough. Which is a shame, I guess. I don't know. I never played any of the Mass Effect DLCs, did you?
Yeah, I played most of them actually.
And they were very good.
Very good. Yeah. Very good. All quite different. Some of them very, very story heavy. Some of them very collectible heavy. But all definitely worth playing.
It'd be interesting to take a closer look into exactly what went wrong with that studio, because from what I hear, it's oodles of potential, which has been thrown away now, and they're all going back to the beginning of the ladder, which must be incredibly depressing. I can see a lot of very, very talented individuals quitting the industry because of this. So yeah, maybe mismanagement, maybe it's EA's fault all along. Who knows?
In other news, there has been a price rise for the PlayStation Plus subscription. So in the UK, going from $39.99 a year to $49.99 a year. Again, I think that's very, very reasonable for the service that we get. 50 quid, not a problem. But there is a little bit of interesting speculation around this.
And what's that, Saul?
So obviously people want to know why they're putting the prices up, what they're going to get extra. There are some rumours, and they are just rumours flying around, that it has something to do with PlayStation Now. Okay.
And where did you hear this?
It was an article. I think it was an article on Kotaku. Probably was. So they kind of pulled together a few different bits of information, a few different sources, and some screenshots and kind of rumours that they were hearing, and they seem to come to the conclusion that the price rise is to, in some way, bundle in or tie in with PlayStation Now. So this kind of, if you think about it, has a bit of traction. Obviously, Xbox One has backwards compatibility, really, really easy. Pretty much put the disc in and it runs. So this could be Sony's answer to that. It is going to cost you an extra tenner, but again, I think it's a very reasonable price.
That this extra tenner, or an extra £1 a month on the monthly subscription, is going to allow you access to the, £15 a month PlayStation Now library?
I don't know. I think it's okay.
It's something like that, which to me sounds wonderful. It sounds like such a...
I don't think that's going to happen.
Neither do I.
I thought I'd stop you there before you put more words in my mouth. I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know what this time is going to be. It could be, maybe it's like the Nintendo deal. Here's 2 or 3 games a month that you can have for this month, and then it moves on.
They're already doing that though on the PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, but
I think the unfortunate reality of this is that nothing is going to change. We're just getting the price hiked up, which is a shame because me and Saul talked about originally that maybe this is the PlayStation Now being incorporated into it, and that would be awesome. That would be incredibly lovely. But as I've said many times on the show before, they've no reason to do that. And plus, Sony themselves have come out and said, why aren't doing backwards compatibility? Is because the statistics show that people don't really want it. Yeah. Which is true. Yeah. People on Xbox One, they get their Xbox 360 games and they never play them. Yeah. And why? Why cut out those sales? People still own PS3s. People still buy PS3 games. If they did this, they would lose money hand over fist. Yeah. Not in a way that would actually hurt the business at all, because they are so far ahead and so wealthy. However, in that board meeting, when you see, your quarterlies, you will see this loss in revenue from something, and it doesn't make any sense to them. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. There's no real need for them to do this. They're so far ahead that they don't need to make these kind of big kind of customer friendly moves to draw people back in, because they already have the majority of the market. So it's a nice thought, but I think you're right. I think what we're looking at here is simply an extra 10 quid a year for PlayStation Plus, which isn't really that bad. Let me comment on that, because Yeah. Because some people are up in arms about this and are getting really kind of cross about it. And I'm like, fine. What's a tenner a month? It's 2 bus journeys.
It's a tenner a year.
A tenner a year, sorry. It's
exactly.
2 bus journeys.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like 3 coffees. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely nothing.
So it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Still absolutely great value for money.
It is now, because the games have been getting better. Every once a month for the last 4 months now, they've had like a really great game that is worth the price of admission alone.
Yeah.
So they've gotten a lot better, because they were on the fucking arse last year and the year before that.
Yeah.
When it came towards quality anyway.
Yeah.
Not necessarily money, which is what makes the world go round, but for quality of what they were giving away for free, certainly it has improved massively.
Final piece of news that I want to talk about this week is regarding one of my favourite game developers. If you've ever listened to this podcast before, you know the love that I have for the man, the legend, Derek Hugh, the developer of Spelunky, one of my favourite games of all time. And this week he's come out and announced basically the details of his next project. Now, not that much details to go on, but essentially he's releasing a collection of 50 games, okay? Games that he's found, games that have been made by friends of his, that are in kind of the development community that he's a part of. And these 50 games are all in the style of an 8-bit kind of aesthetic. So they would all be playable on like 8-bit hardware of yore. And they're all different. So everything from driving games, RPGs to shooters, all this kind of stuff. Every game is going to be covered in this collection. So it gives me a lot of hope, you know, if Derek Hugh's involved in it. I think there's going to be some very, very interesting, cool stuff in there. I'm not saying that every one of the 50 games is going to be a hit, but I think that at least in each one there's going to be just a little hook, something new that maybe we haven't seen before.
You are the company you keep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And 50 games sounds like pretty damn good company.
Well, yeah, that sounds exciting. Any info on who the other developers who are going to be in on this collaboration are?
No, not really. Like I said, there's not that much details about it yet. No. It's obviously, I think he's given the release window of 2018, so still quite a way out. But like I said, it just fills me with a lot of confidence that it has the name Derek Hugh attached to it.
Yeah, okay, I can dig that. As far as autos go, you reckon he's one of the big hitters at the moment for the indie games?
I mean, maybe not at the moment, because he hasn't had a game in quite a long time.
I say big hitters, I mean, he's one of the underlining success stories that may someday be something, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Just in terms of his skill in game design, he's one of the best. Talking about Jonathan Blow, I would put him on a par with Jonathan Blow. Absolutely. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I'm sure we'll get some more news over the next few months. Maybe at the start of next year, we'll maybe have a list of the 50 games, know a bit more information about them. But definitely something to kind of keep on your radar, something to watch coming over the horizon in the next few months.
Is there any name for this collaboration yet?
There is, but I don't know it. It's called 50-something.
Yes, because we are the leaders of misinformation.
It's called 50 Mint Games that I love by by Derek Hugh.
It's called Ryme and Saul.
It's called Spelunky HD 2 Classic in Reinvented Super Duper Troopers.
It's called EA Street Hockey 5.
That might be one. I'd play that as an 8-bit game.
Exists.
I think that would be a good 8-bit game.
It's called 8-bit bully beating up for your money 7. What else is it called, Saul?
What else is it called? It's called Derek Hugh's favourite games by mates that I like.
Derek Hughes Date Rate Stimulator 7.
Derek Hughes Funky Super Duper Spunky Backpack.
Derek Hughes, honestly, you are not clearly old enough to be in here, so go away.
It's actually Half-Life 3.
It's Derek Hughes. This is clearly a provisional, not a full licence. You've told me you had your licence on you, but you've not. Step out the car, please, mate.
Let's leave it there.
None of them are usable, though.
It's good, it's fine.
Hey! Identify yourself, or I will open fire!
Oh, listen, lady, please! We've been stuck here forever! Help us get an evac off-world!
Yeah? Go fuck yourself! You shitpaws give chase, I will kill your dicks!
What? What does that even mean? You're gonna kill my dick? Well, I'll kill your dick! How about that, huh?
Right, on to question of the week. what I'd like to talk to you, Chud, is about guilty pleasures, right? Now, a guilty pleasure is something that you maybe love, something you enjoy.
Okay,
Generally,
fair enough. Like, I paid for her in the first place, okay, and I told her specifically not to go to the papers.
That's news to me. This is the first time you've told. Who is she? Who is this woman?
Nothing.
Nothing. You know, I know nothing.
Carry on. Edit that out, Andy.
Start again.
But don't edit that bit out, because that was the gag.
Okay. So, gaming guilty pleasures are a game that you love to go back to for whatever reason. Whatever you like that game, it's fine by me. But generally, these games aren't very well received for whatever reason, you know. So I thought that we could talk about that. If you have any gaming guilty pleasures,
Yeah, man.
you want me to go first, or do you want to start?
Go for it, bro.
Okay, so I was talking earlier about Hatterful Boyfriend, Pigeon Dating Simulator. It sounds weird. It is really fucking weird, and it's not a great game. I'm gonna hold my hands up. It's not a great game. Pretty shit. It's all text based, and the hook of it is basically pigeons. So if you don't like pigeons, then don't play this game. But it is what, $3.50 or something at the moment?
Yeah, it's like £3.50 on the superb game sale of your. It's just the way you used your earlier. I was like, yeah, your. You never heard
That's
that
a good word. That
like ever.
Fucking hell.
Awesome.
I'm proud of that one. I'll keep that.
You should be.
I'm going to try and use that word every single week in some way.
No, use it every single day. Until
Every
it gets
day?
really, really weird and people start to really dislike you.
I'll just be full on medieval by the end of the month.
Yeah, like a fucking chest of armour.
Yeah,
Have like
riding a horse
some
everywhere.
wench and some guy who hadn't paid his taxes to the fucking duke.
That'd be badass, that riding up to work on a horse. Can you imagine that?
Would you be sectioned?
Yeah, I would, yeah.
I reckon you'd get away with the first day. They'd be like, oh, that's kind of weird. Get animal rights involved. And there's like, oh, the second day, they'll know. Section him. He's a danger to himself and to the bigger public.
Well, from one animal to another, back to pigeons. It's, like I said, not a great game. It's all text-based. There are very, very few kind of choices that you can do to influence the story. But there is, I think, about 20-odd endings that, you know, to get the platinum, you have to see every ending through. But, yeah, sounds weird. It is weird. But every now and again, when I have got nothing else to play, I have no idea, I'll just jump in for 10 minutes and have a bit of a laugh and meet some pretty nice pigeons.
You just sort of find yourself homing in on it. That's what we're doing right now.
Very good.
It's one of those things. But yeah, no, I was in on it. I've heard of this game from years ago. I saw Danny O'Dwyer on his Random Encounter gaming series for GameSpot, who we used to work for.
There is a sequel, by the way. There's two of them.
Yeah, I thought there was more than that, but I thought that at least when you said there's like no choices in what you're saying, that's like that sounds like bullshit. Really, it sounds like Persona 5. I don't really want to spend a couple of hours working through a visual novel that pounces around as a JRPG but isn't.
Yeah.
Oh, fight me.
Yeah. My favourite part about this game, I'm going to spoil it because you're probably never going to play it.
Oh, I play it. I'm never going to curl though.
Okay,
So
well,
please do.
it's not really a spoiler, but so there's a part where you meet a very famous pigeon blogger in the game, right? And if you are connected online, you can put in your email address, and then every now and again, to your actual email address, you'll receive updates from, I can't remember his name, but from this pigeon who lives down in London. He's got loads of pigeon mates around the main square, and he live tweets updates and sends you blog posts, which is pretty cool. So every now and again I get pigeon updates.
You like what?
That's Hatful Boyfriend. So not a great game, but I find it very, very funny. Way funnier than I should.
Can I please point out, just in case it went over anybody's head though, that Saul said the words live tweets.
We're
As in
smashing
pigeons.
that.
We're having it. We are having it. Or we are falling apart mentally. Who knows?
So okay, tell me about your gaming guilty pleasure.
My gaming guilty pleasure was just for a very small, brief period of time back in 2011 when, do you remember Homefront?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Homefront
Yeah.
was a Call of Duty clone. Excuse me for being so crass in describing it that way. There was what?
Was it a little open world?
No.
Oh, it wasn't. It was
No,
just linear
it was
corridor.
levels. Yeah,
Right.
it was linear corridor to shoot. Yeah. You're thinking of the sequel, which I've never played, but I can't comment on.
Okay.
But the original Homefront 2011 was a Call of Duty sort of clone in that it copied its physics and a lot of its structure and blah 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 blah. But it's all in a more magnificently brave and compelling setting. Basically, it was set in America, taken over by North Korea, and North Korea succeeded in taking over the country. Basically,
yeah.
it was what was that? Wolverines. What was that? What was that film in the 80s called? Red Dawn. That was it. Yeah, Red Dawn. I think it's
Your
Red
references, man, are out of control.
Dawn. Yeah, they'll get it. Red Dawn. Basically, it's like Red Dawn, the film. And yeah, it was really, really good because the levels were short. It was Call of Duty-like, but it was a bit more bold in what it was doing. And it was just, I found it very interesting. The graphics were kind of shit, and had lots of glitches, and it was only 6 hours long, which led to all these scores of 6 out of 10, like Call of Duty clone, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, well, no, it was a Call of Duty clone that had balls and did things better than Call of Duty did in a gameplay and narrative standpoint. Didn't look as good. Those glitches did get in the way for some people, but not me, because they weren't that bad.
Okay.
And yeah, I really liked that game, and I was really psyched about the sequel. And then the sequel came out, and oh my god, I've just had an epiphany. The sequel came out and got the same kind of like 6 out of 10 stuff.
Yeah.
And I
Maybe you love it.
And I fobbed it off. Oh my god. Hold this, I've got to go to CEX.
Yeah, I'll hold the fort. I'll hold down the fort. I'd never played it. I just, I read the reviews, heard that it wasn't very good, but yeah, I think you're right. That setting really appeals to me. The idea of it being set in the States with like this invading force coming in, and that have succeeded by the sounds of it. I think that's really cool. I think that's
That'll
really
never
cool.
happen, right?
Well, it might happen next week.
It will never happen. The world will be ended by.
We haven't done Kim Jong-un watch actually for quite a while, have we?
Because he's gone all like, guys, I can't talk to you because I'm preparing for war. And this is the way he talks.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a real. God, you must.
And he's like, guys,
Spent some
I'd have you
time-
around, but I can't have you around.
You spent
because I
some
wanna
time
watch
in
the
a North Korean jail there to learn that well.
No, I'm just a massive racist.
So yeah, interesting. Do you reckon you're tempted to go play the second one?
No. I think a lot of the first one came to do with the fact that I was unemployed, but I love film, sending me games once a month. But yeah, I've got a soft spot for this first one. So yeah. But the second one got really dragged through the coals worse than the first one did. But maybe, I don't know, maybe for $5 I'll give it a go.
Okay, interesting. I'm not going to play it. It's your gaming guilty pleasure. Fair enough.
It's better than my real life guilty pleasure.
What's that? I do have another gaming guilty pleasure.
We're not going to go down that improv black hole. What's your other gaming guilty pleasure?
Postal. The Postal games.
Ah, yes, Postal.
Now,
are good.
these are very controversial games because they are essentially about you being a psychopath and murdering people for no reason. But
no, about you being a psychopath and murdering people because the 9 to 5 man breaks your ass down and gives you nothing and takes everything away.
It's basically about a disgruntled mailman is where the name Postal comes from.
About the way I put it.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Capitalism. Sorry, go on.
over the top violence, but again, kind of fun to play if you know. If
I
that's your
remember you
vibe.
bringing it around to the house like in 2005. Yeah, I found it kind of fun. It was what.
Well, right, Postal 2 is a game where you can stand on a roof, unzip your shorts, piss off your roof into somebody's mouth. You get the gargling sound, you get that, Then they're sick. You jump down with your spade, and in one hit, you clean knock their head off right down the street. That is Postal 2 in a nutshell. If that sounds good to you, then you're probably a horrible person like me. But I recommend it to you. It'll be banned at some point. I'm sure you can still pick it up though now for
Peanuts.
Peanuts, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically my.
It sounds
other,
like hatred, but with a sense of humour.
It's basically it. Yeah.
I'm sure Postal isn't actually still banned, is it?
So the original Postal was banned for I think a number of years in the UK. It was released. I remember seeing it on the shelves in stores.
Because I played Postal 2 with you, and it all had such a comedic theme and overtone to it.
Yeah.
Whereas Hatred Black and White is like, oh, I got a trench corner.
But I think, yeah, just remember like that at the time there were no other games like this. Like Ultraviolence wasn't that. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. I can't really remember the other games that were out around that time, but it was pretty fucking horrific for the time. Pretty graphic.
Yeah, but true. But it was Ultraviolence. But yeah, he was so funny though. It wasn't in such a clowny kind of way.
You could say that about Mortal Kombat, right? The violence in Mortal Kombat is by no means real.
But the violence in Mortal Kombat I would put to being worse than the one in Postal, because the violence in Mortal Kombat was done in such a serious overtone but then it became so graphic that it became a parody of itself, whereas Postal really seemed to be kind of clownish from the get-go.
Yeah, I'd agree, yeah. I mean, okay, even if you take out the violence out of Postal, you still do have Arab guys that look exactly like Osama bin Laden running around with bombs strapped to the chest. So, again...
It's not the most PC thing, but still, yeah, okay, fair enough.
But, again, just in terms of a guilty pleasure, fuck, yeah, why not? I'll go and kill some random people in my street. I don't like my job particularly either, so I kind of empathise with the guy a bit, you know?
Talked about this song.
I know. I'm seeking help.
He's doing a lot.
It's not going well. It's not going well, actually. No. I was basically thrown out the psychiatrists for expressing ultra-violent views against... well, basically saying that I'd quite like to stand on my roof and piss in somebody's mouth. Ladies and gents, that brings us to another episode, the end of another episode of the Save State Gaming Podcast, episode 15, no less. No more, but certainly no less.
That's how maths works, people.
So, thanks again for joining us. Apologies again, it's been a while since we recorded. But I hope you've enjoyed listening. Hope you've enjoyed it a lot. If you have any comments about this episode, please write them down underneath our YouTube videos on our Facebook page. You can like, subscribe, follow us on all the usual social media channels. And anything else you'd like to say? Any final thoughts to leave our audience with? Be nice. Do you know what? Let's end on a positive note.
Yes.
Be nice to each other. Don't be a cunt.
Be good to each other, and good night.
Jerry Springer.
He
ran for Jerry Springer ran for office, and then in the 1970s in Florida or wherever, couldn't because he got caught with prostitutes.
Ah, I didn't know that.
That's a true story.
And he kept his TV show.
No, because
They probably
that was
went
like 20.
on to-
It went 20 years later. He got his TV show.
Okay.
It's like the 70s.
Oh, okay,
90s,
okay.
He got his TV show. But anyway,
Do you reckon he had him as guests on the TV show 20 years later? Like,
no,
kind
because
of, where are you
it was
now?
fake. It was like wrestling. Because like a lot of people who are wrestlers now, like this wrestler called Austin Aries, tells a story about how like him and his buddy in college had to earn some money and went on the show and like did a bit of a skit and stuff like that. So it was all fake. Oh, I reckon it wasn't all fake. I reckon it was mixed in. I reckon they got the psychos and mixed it in with like the workers, like people who were wrestlers, actors, performance artists, things like that.
I think that's a beautiful metaphor for America, isn't it? That don't really know what's real and what's fake.
That's a beautiful metaphor for people in general, really. All depends. All depends on your how psychologically stable you are at the moment.
Yeah.
Or unstable. I don't really know. Okay.
But thanks again for joining us, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed listening.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. We've had fun, and hopefully we are going to try and get this on a more weekly basis. Life has intervened, but then again. Do you ever start a sentence and never really know where it's going to go? Yeah. So thank you for joining us. We will see you next week. God bless you. I don't believe in God. Well, that's awful as well. How can we finish this with science bless you?
Science bless you.
Science bless you.
God
The
bless
periodic
science.
table of elements bless you. And good night.
Music for this week's episode was brought to you by Tom Hannay, Joakim Karud, and Nkato. Artificial music, Home, G, DOS88, Mr. Logistics, Lyvo, Lowercase, and Kubbi. So once again, thanks you very much for all of your music, and we will see you again soon.